Hello everyone, and welcome back to our health channel, where we dive into practical, science-backed ways to live your best life, especially as we age. Today, we're talking about a topic that's close to the heart, literally and figuratively, because it's about the food choices we make at the kitchen table. As we get older, those decisions become more than just picking something tasty or convenient. They're about fueling our bodies to maintain steady energy, keeping inflammation at bay, supporting a strong immune system, and protecting our hearts. For seniors in the U.S., these choices can shape how we feel, move, and think every single day. But here's the thing: even the most health-conscious among us can get tripped up by misinformation, especially when it comes to one food group that's often misunderstood: nuts. Yes, nuts! They're frequently praised as nutrient-dense superfoods, packed with healthy fats, fiber, and antioxidants. But here's a startling truth that many seniors don't realize: not all nuts are created equal. Some can actually do more harm than good, subtly increasing inflammation, messing with digestion, spiking blood sugar, or even interfering with medications. On the flip side, there are nuts that are absolute powerhouses for aging gracefully, strengthening your heart, boosting brain health, and keeping you vibrant. So, today, we're going to clear up the confusion. We'll talk about the 4 nuts seniors should avoid, the 4 that should be staples in your weekly diet, and how to incorporate them into your life in simple, delicious ways. No fad diets, no fear-based restrictions, just smart, senior-friendly choices that nourish your body and support your independence. If you're ready to start eating better, one sensible decision at a time, stick with me. And if you find this video helpful, please type 1 in the comments below. If there's something we could do better, drop a 0 and let me know how we can improve. Let's get started. Let's begin with the nuts that seniors should steer clear of, because knowing what to avoid is just as important as knowing what to embrace. First up, we have salted, roasted cashews. At first glance, they seem harmless, even indulgent in a healthy way. Their buttery texture and satisfying crunch make them a favorite in many senior households across America. They're the kind of snack you might reach for while watching TV or sharing with friends. But there's a hidden trap in those golden, brown morsels that seniors can't afford to ignore. As we age, our bodies don't process fats and salt the same way they used to. Unfortunately, salted, roasted cashews are often loaded with both. Just a small handful can pack over 200 milligrams of sodium and 12 grams of fat. For seniors, especially those managing hypertension or heart conditions like congestive heart failure, this can be a silent saboteur. That extra sodium can raise blood pressure, cause fluid retention, and put unnecessary strain on an aging heart and kidneys. It's not just about one snack session, it's the cumulative effect of those bites adding up over time. But the issue isn't just the salt. The roasting process, especially at high temperatures, strips cashews of their natural enzymes, making them harder to digest. For older adults with slower metabolisms, acid reflux, or sensitive stomachs, this can lead to bloating, discomfort, or even nutrient malabsorption. And let's not overlook the oils often used in roasting. Cheap vegetable oils high in omega-6 fats that, without enough omega-3s to balance them, can fuel inflammation in the body. Science is increasingly showing that chronic inflammation is a root cause of many age-related issues, from arthritis to cognitive decline. You might think, but cashews are plant-based, so they must be healthy. The truth is more complicated. Regularly munching on salted, roasted cashews can quietly undermine your efforts to stay energized and healthy in the long run. There's also a psychological trap here. Many seniors reach for these nuts as a healthier alternative to chips or cookies, but they might just be trading one problem for another: a fatty, salty snack disguised as a health food. So, what should you reach for instead when a craving hits? Which nut delivers that rich, satisfying flavor without the hidden harm? I'll give you a hint: it's often overlooked, but offers powerful protection for your heart and brain. We'll get to that soon, but first, let's move on to the next nut to avoid. Next up is a nut that's practically an American institution: peanuts. You'll find them in candy bars, on airplanes, at baseball games, and in nearly every pantry across the country. They're familiar, affordable, and comforting, but there's a hidden downside that seniors need to know about, especially if you're aiming to age with clarity and strength. Fun fact: peanuts aren't even true tree nuts, they're legumes, grown underground in warm, humid conditions. That environment makes them surprisingly vulnerable to contamination by aflatoxin, a toxic mold linked to liver damage and even cancer. For older adults, whose detoxification systems aren't as robust as they once were, this is a serious concern. Aflatoxin exposure might not cause immediate symptoms, but over time, it can subtly harm your liver, especially if you're already dealing with other health challenges. Beyond contamination, peanuts pose another risk. They're one of the most common food allergens. Even if you don't have a full-blown allergy, peanuts can cause mild inflammation or digestive upset in some people, triggering an overactive immune response. For seniors, where inflammation is already a silent driver of heart disease, joint pain, and cognitive decline, this is no small matter. Then there's peanut butter, which many seniors turn to as a heart-healthy spread. The problem: most commercial peanut butters are packed with hydrogenated oils, added sugars, and salt, turning a potentially wholesome food into a metabolic minefield. Unless you're choosing 100% natural, unsweetened peanut butter, you're likely getting a dose of ingredients that can spike blood sugar and cholesterol. And let's talk about portion control. Peanuts are calorie-dense and easy to overeat. Even a small daily handful can tip the scales for seniors watching their weight, blood sugar, or cholesterol. Not every senior will react poorly to peanuts, but if you're dealing with liver issues, chronic inflammation, or sensitive digestion, it might be time to rethink this pantry staple. So, what if the danger isn't just in additives like salt or sugar, but in the nut itself? What if a nut's benefits could actually become harmful when consumed in excess? That brings us to our next nut to avoid. Brazil nuts are up next, and at first glance, they seem like a nutritional dream. They're rich, creamy, and packed with selenium, a vital mineral that supports thyroid function, cellular repair, and immune health. Just 1 or 2 Brazil nuts can provide over 100% of your daily selenium needs, which sounds like a win. But here's where seniors need to tread carefully. Too much of a good thing can turn harmful. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at regulating minerals, and selenium is no exception. Overdoing it with Brazil nuts can lead to selenium toxicity, which might not show up right away, but can cause symptoms like fatigue, brittle nails and hair, muscle weakness, mental fog, or even an irregular heartbeat. For seniors already managing thyroid issues, heart conditions, or reduced liver and kidney function, this can complicate things further, mimicking or worsening symptoms of aging. The problem is compounded by the nature of Brazil nuts themselves. They're large, filling, and easy to overeat. It's not uncommon for someone to pop 4 or 5 in one sitting, unintentionally crossing into risky territory. Their high fat content can also slow digestion, leading to bloating or discomfort for those with sensitive stomachs or sluggish metabolisms. Research has even linked excessive selenium intake over time to an increased risk of type 2 diabetes, a condition that already affects nearly 1 in 4 American seniors. That's not a risk to take lightly when you're focused on longevity. So, while Brazil nuts have their place, moderation is critical, and for many seniors, it's safer to skip them altogether. But what if the real danger isn't just in the nut itself, but in how it's prepared and presented? That brings us to our final nut to avoid, one that looks innocent but can quietly sabotage your health with every bite. The last nut to steer clear of is candied or chocolate-coated nuts. Whether it's chocolate, dipped almonds, honey, glazed pecans, or walnuts wrapped in brittle, these treats gleam temptingly at farmers' markets and grocery stores. They feel like a guilt-free indulgence. especially for seniors trying to cut back on traditional desserts. After all, there's a nut at the core, so it must be healthy, right? Wrong. These coated nuts are a hidden danger for seniors, especially when it comes to managing blood sugar, weight, and inflammation. For older adults, keeping these factors in check is crucial for maintaining energy, mobility, and cognitive health. But candied or chocolate-coated nuts can send your blood sugar on a roller coaster, leading to energy crashes, cravings, and risky spikes, particularly for the nearly half of Americans over 65 managing diabetes or prediabetes. The coatings often contain added sugars, artificial sweeteners, or syrups, and many of these nuts are roasted in unhealthy oils, packed with flavor enhancers or preservatives, and stripped of the nutrients that make raw nuts beneficial. These additives can cause digestive discomfort or interfere with medications in seniors with compromised digestion or heightened medication sensitivity. There's also a psychological trick at play. Because there's a nut in the middle, it feels like a health food, but it's really a dessert in disguise. This illusion can lead to overindulgence, adding empty calories that fuel weight gain and inflammation. While the occasional treat over the holidays is fine, these coated nuts should never become a regular habit. Now that we've covered the nuts to avoid, let's shift gears to the good stuff, the nuts that can actively support your health, protect your heart, boost your brain, and add vitality as you age. Let's dive into the first of these superfoods and why it might just become your new daily go-to. First on our list of nuts to embrace is the walnut. There's something timeless about walnuts, with their earthy flavor and distinctive, brain-shaped shells. They've been a quiet presence in kitchens for generations, but for seniors aiming to live longer, stronger, and sharper, walnuts are more than a nostalgic snack. They're a nutritional powerhouse tailored for the aging body. Walnuts are one of the few nuts rich in plant-based omega-3 fatty acids, specifically alpha-linolenic acid or ALA. As we age, omega-3s become increasingly vital, not just for heart health but for reducing systemic inflammation, protecting brain function, and easing joint pain. Studies have linked regular walnut consumption to improved memory, a lower risk of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, and slower cognitive decline in older adults. But the benefits don't stop at the brain. The omega-3s in walnuts help lower bad cholesterol's LDL and keep arteries flexible, reducing the risk of heart attacks and strokes later in life. Their anti-inflammatory properties can also make a real difference for seniors with arthritis or chronic pain, turning stiffness into comfort and fatigue into energy. Compared to harder nuts like almonds, walnuts' smooth, slightly bitter texture is gentler on aging teeth and gums. They're also packed with essential minerals like magnesium, copper, and manganese, which support strong bones, energy metabolism, and immune resilience. Just a handful a day can make a big impact. Sprinkle them over oatmeal, blend them into smoothies, toss them with roasted vegetables, or enjoy them on their own as a satisfying snack. Walnuts don't need to shout about their benefits. They quietly, reliably deliver. But while walnuts are a hero for heart and brain health, another nut offers its own unique strengths, supporting digestion, skin, and cellular health with every bite. Let's explore that next. Next up is the almond, a nut that's often taken for granted. You'll find it in trail mix or tucked away in a jar in the pantry, always there but rarely celebrated. For seniors, though, almonds are anything but ordinary. They're one of nature's most well-rounded gifts, quietly supporting your bones, heart, skin, and mind. Almonds are rich in vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that protects your cells from oxidative stress, the process that drives wrinkles, age spots, memory loss, and joint breakdown as we age. A small daily serving of almonds can help you think more clearly, strengthen your nails, and keep your skin glowing, making you feel younger from the inside out. But it's not just about looking good. It's about feeling strong. Almonds are loaded with magnesium and calcium, crucial for bone density and muscle function. especially for those over 65 when bone loss accelerates and falls become a bigger risk. Their fiber and healthy fats also help regulate blood sugar, making them a smart choice for seniors with diabetes or prediabetes. Almonds are easy to chew, quick to digest, and deeply satisfying, especially if you soak them overnight to soften them further. Unlike processed snacks, a small handful can curb hunger, prevent overeating, and nourish your body without overwhelming it. Almonds are a gentle, thoughtful way to care for yourself, reminding us that healthy aging is about small, consistent choices made with intention. But what if the next nut on our list offers not just protection but transformation? A tiny seed that balances hormones, improves digestion, and revitalizes you from within. Let's take a look. Flax seeds might not have the glamour of other nuts, often overlooked in the grocery aisle, but these tiny, unassuming seeds are a secret weapon for aging gracefully. For seniors, flax seeds are more than a trendy health food. They're a cornerstone for maintaining the body's delicate balance as we age. They're one of the richest plant-based sources of omega-3 fatty acids, particularly ALA, which supports aging arteries, reduces inflammation, and nourishes the heart. This anti-inflammatory effect is critical for seniors dealing with stiff joints, high cholesterol, or a heart that's weathered decades of stress. Research shows that daily flax seed consumption can lower blood pressure, improve arterial flexibility, and reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease, a leading cause of death for older adults. But flax seeds go beyond heart health. They're packed with soluble and insoluble fiber, which promotes digestive health, regulates blood sugar, and relieves constipation, a common issue as we age. Just a tablespoon a day can restore regularity and comfort, often reducing the need for laxatives. Flax seeds also contain lignans, plant compounds that support hormonal balance, particularly for women post-menopause, and show promise in reducing cancer risk and promoting healthy cell function. The key is preparation. Whole flax seeds often pass through the body undigested, so grind them fresh and mix them into oatmeal, smoothies, or soups for maximum benefits. This small daily ritual becomes an act of healing, nourishing your body from the inside out. But while flax seeds are quiet healers, the next nut brings a different kind of energy, one that fuels movement, vitality, and clarity with every bite. Pistachios are our final superfood, and there's something almost joyful about them. From their vibrant green hue to the satisfying crack of their shells, pistachios are more than a snack. They're a delightful blend of nutrition and happiness. For seniors, they offer a unique combination of antioxidants, fiber, and plant-based protein, providing the fuel your body needs to repair, strengthen, and thrive. Pistachios support lean muscle mass and steady energy, helping seniors stay active and independent. Each ounce delivers about 6 grams of protein and 3 grams of fiber, plus potassium and vitamin B6, nutrients often lacking in older adults. Vitamin B6 supports mood, immune function, and mental clarity, while potassium helps regulate blood pressure and heart rhythm. But what sets pistachios apart is their eye health benefits. They're one of the few nuts rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, antioxidants that protect against age-related vision loss like cataracts and macular degeneration. For seniors who want to preserve their sight and independence, this is a game changer. Pistachios are also naturally low in sugar and easy on the stomach, especially when raw or dry, roasted without salt. Their shells encourage mindful eating, reducing the risk of overindulgence. Pistachios remind us that food can be both medicine and joy, nourishing both body and soul. Now that we've covered the best nuts for healthy aging, let's talk about how to weave them into your daily life in simple, delicious ways. Start with walnuts. Try adding a handful to your morning oatmeal or blending them into a smoothie for a creamy, nutrient-packed boost. Sprinkle them over roasted vegetables for dinner or keep a small bowl on the counter for a quick snack. Almonds are just as versatile. Toss them into a salad, spread almond butter on whole grain toast, or soak them overnight for a softer, easier-to-digest treat. Flax seeds shine when ground fresh. Mix a tablespoon into yogurt. or sprinkle over soup, or stir into a warm bowl of porridge. For pistachios, enjoy them as a mid-afternoon pick-me-up, savoring the process of cracking open each shell. You can also chop them and sprinkle over a fruit salad for a burst of flavor and nutrition. The beauty of these nuts lies in their simplicity. They don't require complicated recipes or drastic changes to your routine. They're small, intentional acts of self-care that add up over time. As we age, our food choices become more than just fuel. They shape our comfort, clarity, and sense of control. Nuts, in their humble way, can have a profound impact. We've seen how some nuts, like salted cashews, peanuts, Brazil nuts, and candied varieties, can quietly undermine our health, from inflammation to blood sugar spikes. But we've also discovered the power of walnuts, almonds, flax seeds, and pistachios, foods that protect, nourish, and energize. These choices aren't about perfection, they're about wisdom. About making deliberate decisions that honor your body. A handful of walnuts with your morning tea, a sprinkle of flax seeds in your smoothie, a few pistachios in the afternoon. These are acts of love, reminders that you still have strength, purpose, and agency. Healthy aging is a journey of small, consistent steps, and it can start with the next nut you reach for. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one thing you've learned today that you'll incorporate into your life? Type 1 if you enjoyed this video, or 0 if you have suggestions for improvement. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and here's to living your healthiest, most vibrant life, one nut at a time!